All right, in this episode of Disha's Excel Adventures, we are going to be taking a look on how to take a TELPAS matrix report and make sure that we can figure out the bands for every student and also then compare to their data from last year. And so I went ahead and just pulled a matrix report for third grade TELPAS. As you can see here, it gives a student score, but it doesn't tell its band. It actually just has the numbers written here. And so first you have to make your data manipulatable. And so all you do is you click in this corner where the arrow is, highlight the whole thing, Control C for copy. You're going to add a new sheet. And here you're going to right click, paste special, and you just want the values. So then you don't want all the other junk from the other sheet. And then here you delete column B because it is actually empty. And then you can delete all of the answers because you don't need any of the answers. It doesn't give you any kind of information. So you highlight it, right click, delete. Now you have your score, you have your student ID, and you have your student name. Here though, you want to make sure you separate your student name, and I'll talk about why that's so important a little bit later. So you're just going to delete the tops right here, add a row. So you go insert, here you'll title last name. And then you're going to insert a row here. So highlight, right click, insert, because you're going to get the first name here. I'm going to show you how to do that. Not my first name, sorry. Then you have your student ID, and then you have your score. And then here we're just going to label this band because we'll get to that in a second. So first you want to separate this name. So you just highlight it. You go to data, text columns, next. You want to do it by just a comma, and as you can see, it's already been separated right here. And then next, and then you finish and you hit OK, and you have your last names, you have your first names. Now we want to figure out the band for each one. In order to do that, you have to know what these numbers represent. So in Elluminate, when you were there and you go to your assessment, there's this tab called Details. So you go to Details, and in the details, when you scroll down, they tell you exactly what each color means. And so I wrote these down so I know what every color means so I can figure out how to write a formula using these numbers. So, and please note that these numbers change based on the grade. So like in fourth grade when I did it, it was a little bit higher in one but lower in the other. So make sure you're looking at this for every grade. Then you go back to your Excel sheet and you're going to put in a formula to help the computer know what band you want to do. And this is called an if formula. So if this, then this. So you go to equals, and it'd be easier to look up here for the formula. If my score, oops, and I forgot parentheses. So if parentheses, if my score is greater than 83, I want it to spit out, in quotations, advanced high. However, this is not the only thing I want, and so I'm going to put a comma, and then another if my score, so I have to click my score, is greater than 66, I want it to spit out advanced. And then I want another one because I need my intermediate. So if my score is greater than 46, I want it to spit out intermediate. And then finally, if all of that is false, I want it to spit out beginner. And now I have three things. So I have advanced, advanced, high, intermediate. And so I do three parentheses, 1, 2, 3. I hit enter and boom. My score of 87.93 is advanced high. And again, you find your little cursor so you can pull that all the way down. And so now you have all of your bands for these kiddos. The next thing you have to do here is figure out how the kids did compared to last year. And so for that, you need your master student report. and I will have another session on that. All right, now that I have my bands, I would just highlight, Control C for copy, and then I'd go to my master student report, which I have updated here. I created a little tab for third TELPAS data. Come here, right click, paste special again. I just want the values, not the formulas. And so I have all of my information right here. And then as you can see here, I have my third grade big TELPAS report. And so here I'm going to go and find my reading rating. Here's my reading rating from last year. And so I'm going to insert a row and title this my mock reading. So that way I know it is what the kids scored for mock reading. And I'm going to go ahead and just hide some of this information because it's just getting in the way. And so highlight, right click, hide, so I can have everything right over here. Double click here so I can see my student ID number. And now we're going to do a little formula that's going to pull the data from this tab into this tab. But remember, I only want my TELPAS data, so I click TELPAS. I only want the kids who don't have any blanks. Now I have all of my kids here. And for this, you're going to do a quick VLOOKUP formula. And in order to do a VLOOKUP formula, you just then type in what the formula is. So equals VLOOKUP. In parentheses, the value that I'm going to be looking up is my last name. And so I click my last name. I hit comma. Where am I going to look for that last name? I go to my third TELPAS. And right here, I am going to highlight this table. And I'm going to then push F4 to finish that. Comma, what do I want to enter? I want to enter column 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what I want to spit out for that last name. And so I'm going to hit 5, comma, true, false, meaning that it's going to be an exact match, and hit enter, and there we go. So it pulled in Baylin's data from here. So if we look up Baylin back in our topic, we see Baylin was at intermediate, and that's exactly what it spit out here. And then you take your trusty little thing and you just pull it all the way down once again, and all of your scores will be populated.